Does slimy or viscous brine mean that my fermentation has gone bad? I'm doing a video series on vegetable fermentation funk, so you can know how to identify what's what, is it safe or not, and what to do about it. This is video number 3, and today I'll be discussing viscous brine. Video number 1 covered calm yeast, and video number 2 covered mold, so be sure to go back and watch those if you missed them. You'll find the links in the description. Let's get into today's topic. If your vegetable fermentation brine changes from a normal watery liquid consistency into a viscous syrupy consistency within the first week of fermentation, this is most likely a Leuconostoc overgrowth. What is that? There are different bacterial stages of vegetable fermentation that are normal and needed for a healthy fermentation process. Phase 2 of vegetable fermentation involves bacteria species within the Leuconostoc genus. This is a short-term bacterial phase before the bacteria Lactobacillus take over in phase 3. You may notice anywhere from 24 to 72 hours after a vegetable fermentation is started that it becomes bubbly. You have Leuconostoc bacteria to thank for this. The Leuconostoc bacteria are producing 2 types of acids and a handful of other byproducts such as carbon dioxide, hence the bubbles, ethanol, glycerol, and dextran. 2 of the byproducts responsible for a viscous brine are glycerol and dextran. Now these byproducts are just a very minute amount, and typically you wouldn't notice any change in brine consistency. But if there is a Leuconostoc overgrowth, the byproduct production will be proportionately increased as well, hence resulting in a viscous brine. The good news is that Leuconostoc bacteria overgrowth is not harmful. But what causes this overgrowth? Well, the needed bacteria for a successful vegetable fermentation are naturally present on and in the vegetable. These microorganism populations are variable from vegetable to vegetable, depending on where and how it was grown and even what type of vegetable it is. In other cases, 1 jar out of a batch, all made from the same cabbage or vegetable, can develop a Leuconostoc overgrowth. Why that 1 jar and not the others? The bacteria activity is ever-changing, hour to hour, day to day, and not being able to see these microscopic activities with our natural eyes so we could watch it change hour to hour really makes it challenging to know the exact cause of a Leuconostoc overgrowth, especially since the cause can vary from ferment to ferment. Welcome to the world of wild fermentation, where we don't always receive the black and white answer. What to do when you notice the brine turn viscous. First, go through this fermentation checklist. Smell. Does the fermentation smell foul and offensive or soury sweet? Sight. Are there any other visual signs that are odd, such as colors or growths? Or does all look normal? pH. With pH strips or a meter, test the pH of the brine. Is it above or below 4.5? A pH above 4.5 can indicate an unhealthy and unsafe ferment. A pH below 4.5 can indicate a healthy and safe fermentation. In alignment, of course, with the answers of number 1 and 2, smell and visual inspection. If any of those negative conditions exist, then you've got a brine slime that isn't a result of a Leuconostoc overgrowth, but is being caused by a bad pathogenic growth. The fermentation in that case should be thrown away. If the fermentation passes the checklist thus far, now you can take a taste test. When you do it, do you instinctively want to spit it out because it tastes bad, or does it taste pleasant? If it tastes pleasant, good, or normal, great, then ask yourself when. When did the brine turn viscous? Was it somewhere between days 3 to 10? Days 3 to 10 are typically the Leuconostoc bacteria phase of a vegetable fermentation. If all answers on the checklist point to a Leuconostoc overgrowth and not spoilage, then there's no need to throw it away. Allow the fermentation to stay on course, fermenting on the counter and keeping an eye on it, since stage 3 of the fermenting process can rebalance the brine back to a normal consistency. Stage 3 is when Lactobacillus bacteria begin taking over. The the lactobacillus are going to be excreting a lot of lactic acid as their byproduct, which turns the brine too acidic for the preference of the leuconostoc. Therefore, the leuconostoc will die off and lactobacillus will dominate. Hence, the viscosity of the brine will return to normal. Okay, so that's great for longer ferments like kimchi and sauerkraut that can ferment for weeks or even months to rebalance. But what about short-term ferments that are less than 2 weeks or even just a matter of days? Although it may be unappealing to eat a fermentation that has a viscous brine due to a leuconostoc overgrowth, it will not hurt you. If the brine viscosity is too off-putting, you can throw the fermentation out, so long as you know it's not dangerous and you can eat it if you want to. Next in this Fermentation Funk series, I will discuss that brown layer that can sometimes form on fermentations, especially sauerkraut. And if you want to learn more about the probiotic profiles of vegetables that I briefly touched on earlier, I've got a video called 12 Essential Probiotics of Sauerkraut that does a deeper dive into that topic. Also, soon to come is a more in-depth video on the multiple stages of fermentations, since I only touched on it briefly in this video. I know there's some of you that are a diehard like me and you want to know more. Be sure to check out the other Fermentation Funk videos in this series. Click right here for calm yeast and here for mold. Links for all of these videos mentioned are in the description. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.